Okay, finally a new video after so long time. But definitely it feels so good to be back. Thank you all for staying with me in this time. In the meantime, we have reached 500 subscribers. This is our achievement. Without your support, I couldn't even imagine to reach this far. Don't have words to express how grateful I am to you guys. Promise to never disappoint you again. Okay, now without any more delay, let's start. Today we are going to learn about a car which has a very special place in my heart, because this is the first quote-unquote car I rode when I was just a 3 years old child. Yeah, technically it's a microvan, but for the sake of technicality, you cannot snatch away a child's imagination and one most joyous moments of his life, can you? Yeah, of course, nowadays social media mocks it as a quote-unquote kidnapper's van. But in reality, it helped shaping Indian economy after 91's liberalization of Indian economy, and helped suburban towns to get interconnected with each other and to the nearest metros. Yup, I am talking about the master of multitasking, Maruti Suzuki Omni. The years 1983 and 1984 will be written in golden letters in the history of Maruti Suzuki in India. In 19th December of 83, Suzuki launched the iconic Suzuki 800 hatchback with collaboration with Maruti Udyog. By the way, do you want a different video about that story too? If yes, do comment below. Anyway, back to the topic. Nearly just 1 year after the introduction of its elder sibling, the hero of our story entered the Indian market. Earlier, it was only called as Maruti van. In 1988, it received the name Omni, which means all. A name well deserved for a vehicle which was meant for all purposes. Suddenly, every household in urban, suburban and rural India wanted to ride it or to make it a part of their family. After all, this was primarily meant to be the family car for joint families, a concept that existed in Indian households till late 90s. Now let's discuss about its technical specifications. Omni was powered by a 3-cylinder 796cc petrol engine. It could generate power of 37 brake horsepower and 62 Nm of peak torque. It had 4-speed manual transmission and had MacPherson strut in front suspension and leaf spring in rear suspension. Omni was equipped with recirculating ball steering, which is a type of manual steering system. It had a turning radius of 4.1 meters. Front brake was disc brake and rear brake was drum brake. Its length was 3.370 meters, width was 1.410 meters, and the height was 1.640 meters. It had an unladen ground clearance of 165 millimeters. Omni came with sliding doors in the rear, which meant that you had a long entry point without a wide door opening to the side. Then there was the rear cabin, which could be ordered in multiple formats to suit different applications. A basic 2-bench layout was what many families preferred, making the car accommodate a huge number of people despite the 8-seating capacity mentioned on the registration card. If you had a lot of goods to transport, Maruti sold a single bench variant as well, which had 5 seats. Many customers used the additional boot space to fit a CNG or LPG kit for even lower running costs. Then there was the cargo, which came with no seats at the rear, built for commercial purposes. Let's talk about its usage. Now this is where it gets real interesting. There may be next to zero number of cars in the history of Indian transportation system which was as versatile as Maruti Omni. A part of personal usage, it was widely used as ambulance, goods carrier, school bus, if you consider it as a bus, and even portable shops which sells vegetables, foods, God knows what else. Due to several safety requirements and new and more stricter pollution norms, after 35 years since it came out in the market, Maruti Suzuki finally discontinued Omni's production in 2019 and replaced it by Maruti Eco. And thus, the story of a car which became hope for several middle-class Indian families that they could also have a car ended. Well, not so much, because still now you can see many of them in suburban and rural areas. So that's that. That's it for today. Subscribe and share. If you don't want, still subscribe. Drink water, stay hydrated. Goodbye.